Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our webinar. Today, I am going to speak about words and meanings and their deep implication in the coaching session for coaches. And of course, anyone who's not a coach is also welcome to join because the reflective practice that we use in coaching is also applicable in the conversations between leaders and their followers and between people normally who communicate together in any space in our life. So let me give you a little bit introduction about myself humbly. During the last 25 years, I have been in the learning and development field, and I have been working towards supporting first in the MENA region and then globally. So I consider myself one of the first certified facilitators in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia earlier in the year 2000 in Stephen Covey material. This was my humble start. Before that, I used to love teaching and supporting and helping people in different ways. And then I was one of the founding members of the Saudi Arabia chapter during the early time 2015. Actually, before that, in 2014, where the idea was incepted during the conference in Dubai, and I was invited to join the 10 members who founded the chapter. It was an amazing year because we got to start something from the beginning, right? And then I pioneered in personal leadership, publishing the model, Coach Your Thoughts and Emotions, which is an online hybrid coaching method in 2017, which is still operational in the Arabic language and soon to be in the English language. So for English speakers, this is the book. It is a workbook, and it helps an individual coach through specific questions and specific methodology. Now, after that, I pioneered in publishing academically for coaching in the Arabic and English language. One of the contributions was publishing the word توجيه recently in 2024. This was published in a journal, an academic journal. So I am really glad to have all of these achievements. But that's not all. I pioneered in transformational ethical leadership research since 2007 when I did my PhD, and hence my book on new charismatic leadership, a comprehensive self-coaching model, which was published in 2020 through Springer Nature. Now, this book actually is considered a coaching book because only the first chapter is around the theory and research, but then everything else is session after session, helping a coach to use a method to coach the leader and also helping a leader to support themselves through the coaching sessions that and questions that exist in the book. And then I pioneered in the systemic and team coaching as well in the Arab world since 2023. Actually, I was working on this since 2018. Actually 2017 when I got certified in interpersonal group dynamics. But then I decided in 2023, it is time to bring this to the Arab world. Previous to that, we did the podcast, which has 34 episodes on team coaching. So if you haven't checked that in Arabic, you can go and check it. This book is in Arabic. I decided to write in Arabic because I know that in English, there's a lot of resources. So I didn't need to repeat the research and the methodologies a lot of team coaches around the world already know. And then I spearheaded the science and practice of supervision and team coaching supervision in the Arab world this year, 2024 and 2025. So basically, this is some of the achievements that I was able to accomplish during the last 10 years when I became a coach since 2014. I hope that I will contribute further to everyone's life, because I never say no to anyone who wants to connect with me and get any support. Um, so let's get into the topic of words and meanings. But before we do that, I know we are speaking in English today, and I know most of you are non-native Arabic speakers, but I have to bring in this to you because it's some facts about the Arabic language, which is not the topic of this conversation, but it's an entry to why language and linguistics are very important when you conduct a coaching session. Arabic language is considered the essence and miracle of Islam. People who understand the Arab culture understand that Islam was based in the Arabic language, heritage, and literature, and it highlighted the power of the Arabic language. Hence, it carried over all the heritage of the pre-Islamic era into the Islamic era, using all the ethics, words, metaphors, poems, literature, and other rich cultural depth into its folds. So those who read Quran or have not read or have read Quran, even from the non-Muslims, will realize how deep the connection between Arabic and English. Hence, we cannot separate the Arabic language from the Arab world, because the Arab world is not just built on Arabic language or culture, but it's also built on the weave of the Islamic culture and Islamic teaching into the Arabic language. It's a very interconnected net of strokes, spears, connections, layers, and it's very difficult for an Arab coach not to use the language, the Arabic language, in its folds. So I have to say that this is the first thing that I have discovered when I was coaching, and I needed to dive deep from the beginning so that I could understand how I can coach Arabs through the language that they have inherited culture through it. So having said that, I wanted to also explain to you that the Arabic language is as rich as the Greek language, and it has enriched the Latin language and the other languages around the world through the translation of the Greek literature and the Greek methods and the Greek poems, stories, mythology, science, medicine. It was all first converted to Arabic, and then from the Arab world, it was translated to English. I'm not pretty certain about this, but this is what I know, and you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But there is a research by Muhammad Sagaf on the emotional vocabulary of the Arabic language. He himself alone, over the past few years, he hasn't published it yet, it's in the way, have discovered 1,200 words, 200 emotions, variations in the Arabic language. Now, we have a reference called Lisan al-Arab, the tongue of the Arab. It consists of volumes and volumes, and it dissects the Arabic language into its roots. The roots is simply 3 letters or 4 letters, and from every letter, from every 3 letters, you can come with a variation of meanings, and you can still create more of these words. So the thing about the Arabic language, it is adaptable, and it can be recreated, like the words can be recreated and used in different ways and meanings, because the grammar in the Arabic language allows the 3 letters to be moved into nouns, just simply saying it. The noun in Arabic has a different variations, verbs, adjectives. We have even more than adjectives, states. Hala, describing the state, is different from describing the adjective, which is the sifa. And we have the ability to take the English words sometimes and use them, especially the names, but then they become limited in the grammatical implications. This is just a small introduction that I wanted to bring to you. The other part that is important to our conversation today is the epistemology of knowledge in the Arabic literature or the Arab world. It's very important that we realize and understand where does knowledge come from in the Arab world. While in the West, there is an inherent understanding that knowledge is pretty much factual, scientific experimentations, secular, say, in a way that you cannot claim a fact without having that fact backed by evidence from scientific research and academic research. Now, with the Arab culture, this is a little bit different because we have two sources of knowledge. The first one is naql, which is naql in English, which means transmitted through or what do you call it in Islam? It's coming from the text of the Quran or the Sunnah. And we consider this factual. We don't have to experiment with it. We cannot test it. It is a fact because it comes from the source, which is God and his messenger. So any Arab Muslim specifically you meet will rely very much on this factual transmitted knowledge from the Quran and Sunnah. And then there is the al-aql, which is mind, which means evidence-based through experimentation, trial and error, research, all observation, all kind of sciences, modern sciences that we know these days. So, and the fact that the Muslim Arab mentality and conviction is the fact, the naql and the aql should be aligned together to form a united front. So if the aql contradicts the naql, the science contradicts the text from the Quran or the Sunnah, we are faced with a dilemma that requires deeper understanding, deeper consultation, deeper interpretation, a long, lengthy dialogue and debate between the scholars, the naql scholars and the aql scholars until we reach consensus on the proper meaning. And the meaning is very contextual because Islam is meant to be appropriate for all eras. So it has been there for 1,400 years, and it will continue to be there. Muslim numbers are constantly increasing. The Muslim world is very, very big and wide, covering Arabic-speaking countries and non-Arabic-speaking countries. And in order for this group of, for this big nation to be included in the modern dialogue and debate on every aspect of life, the modern world, the Western world, the different other nations need to understand the inclusion of the Arab and non-Arab, the Muslim world has to be with this in mind, the idea of the naql and the aql. They need also always to be moderated and re-understood in the light of new transformations in technology, in sciences, and there is always a room for growth. And that's the miracle of the Islam, the continuous growth and adaptation to different contexts and eras. And so this is important as well. And this is a big differentiator between coaching without the naql that comes from God, the Quran and the Sunnah, and from the Prophet, and coaching with the naql in mind. It changes the whole landscape. because it includes the spiritual part of the human being, while coaching without the naql will only include the cognitive, the motivational, the physical, the aspirational, all to do with the mental part or the physical part or the physical world, but it might not attach itself to the spiritual world. So the Muslim community around the world require a connection between the spiritual and other parts of our being. So in Islam, our being is very much not just the physical, not just the mental, but there is also the intellectual, the aql, and there is the spiritual beliefs, which comes from Allah and His Messenger, and there is also the heart. And this is another discipline that adds to the equation of the being. So it's not just four sides. The spiritual is different from the heart, or the heart is the mind, or the mind is the self, and where comes the physical being, and what about the physical heart and the physical mind? Where does it, which is the mukh, the brain, how does it fall into all of this? It is a very interconnected web of text from the aql and the naql, and the Muslim community is still talking about it constantly and debating how do we bring in the Islamic psychology, and how do we understand the psychology of Islamic of the human being in the light of Islamic teaching, the aql and the naql. Therefore, the coaching profession, which is very much about the being, right? Us, the humans, need to also incorporate that part of the Muslim world understanding of the aql and the naql. So this is my second argument why language is important. So I want you to tell the other person how you acquire knowledge, and how is this information that I've just displayed to you helpful in your profession, in your life. I'll leave it open for you. I'll give 5 minutes to each pair of you, so each one will take 2.5 minutes. We have the third word, which is discipline in English, but in Arabic it's ta'deeb and adab and mu'addib. And mainly it is helping the individual after they acquire the knowledge and did the nurturing to bring that into their relationships and connections in the community. So it's about how do you show up with others? How do you behave when it's in those different relationships and in different spheres of lives? So it's not just one relationship, and it requires you to have a high level of self-awareness, mindfulness, paying attention to consequences or consequential thinking inside, and accountability. And it is addressed to everyone again, adults mainly, who self-monitor and regulate their emotions, their thoughts, their actions, leaders, people who are role model. Parents are also target for التأديب. So you don't only تؤدب the children, but you also تؤدب ذاتك, yourself, through the awareness and what is the impact of what I'm saying or doing in the society. And it's always required. If you lose sight of the adab, you might run wild like an animal everywhere, doing what you like, saying what you like, acting what you like. I would like to hear something from each room.
Can we add, if you allow me to speak?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. And literally, the last word we said before we go out from the room, me and Mohandes Saif, I said Dr. Ghada is genius. Yeah, because when you say you choose 3 words, it's most important. Because I agree with the Mohandes Saif that it starts from the education, which is the input. So you give the inputs even from the family, the environment, the mosque, the district, the school. So start with the knowledge, which is ta'lim, education. Then the tarbiyah, which is nurturing, you said, it's about how to application this, or how conduct or practicing this knowledge. And last thing, which it will be the its name in English, in Arabic, ترسخ. You put the discipline. So you anchor
You
the
anchor, yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so input, education, then conducting, practicing from environment, from school, from mosque. It will be anchor the discipline.
Yes.
So I like the concept and the word you picked to talk about the depths of Arabic language. And thank you so much.
Yes. So I have to say this is a collection of researches on education and transforming a human being in Islamic education, and it addresses schools, higher education, and addresses adult education. Maybe 12 people have contributed to this research. So I borrowed some of their ideas, but I think also the book is free because it's coming from the Institute of Islamic Thought, and the Institute of Islamic Thought publishes great books, and it's all provided free for everyone around the world. Some of these books are electronic, and some of them actually literally you can go and get them from the center they share with you. Depicting this tree, because hope is not just an instant in time. And it is important for coaches. Why is it important? Because coaches are the hope, right? I mean, they come to you because they're looking for a solution. They come to you because they're facing a challenge. They don't know what to do and they're losing hope. They come to you because they think that you could magically change the world. So it's about hope. Your work is hope, and you bring hope to the world. That's, I think, one of our main roles. And if we can't in the session instill hope in others, it'll be very difficult for others to walk from the session feeling okay, feeling good about themselves, and looking at the problem as simple as it is, not as complicated as they thought it was. So the change in perception helps them reach hope. But there is a very different way to express hope in the Arabic language. In English, it is just one word. And in English, the research on hope is around motivation and cognitive, helping someone or yourself see the solutions or the routes, or as they say in America, the routes to the goal, and getting motivated towards accomplishing that goal because you have hope, or finding optimism in yourself, practicing it, forcing yourself to see the positive side of things, then you get hope. But in the Arabic language, that is just one side of the coin. Now, I think I asked this question, hope in the Arabic language. Who likes to tell me what is hope? Since we're a small group, you can all open your videos and cameras if you like. So what is hope? Just one. You can put it in the chat. Let's put that in the chat. Let's see, all of you, if you know the Arabic word for hope. And it's a review for those who have attended the 12th. Yes. Al-amal, al-raja. Okay, we have 2 words. Thank you. I'm on this safe. So for those who speak English only, al-amal in Arabic is hope, but it's a spark, a noun, a moment in time. Al-raja is a lengthy state that is connected to the spiritual belief in God, in Allah, which helps the Muslim be in a constant state of amal. So every time the amal is about to die, they renew it, and that's called the raja. And the opposite of the raja is fear. And when you have fear, you immediately forget that there is Allah. Forget because we're forgetful, right? Or you're focusing only on one thing and forgetting that Allah will bring inna ma'al usri yusra. With difficulty comes ease. So for a Muslim community, when you coach, you really need to bring in that element of continuous hope, which is mentioned in the Quran in many verses. One of the verses is about enduring pain in the battle. Allah speaks to the Muslims and says, if they are experiencing pain and you are experiencing pain as well, but they don't have the hope that you have, the raja, وَتَرْجُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَرْجُونَ. You are connected to the hope that they don't have from Allah, and He connects hope to Allah immediately. You hope from Allah what they don't hope. So both of you experience pain, but you hope from Allah what they don't hope. And that is a very big reminder. I mean, even when I translate the interpretation, the verse of the Quran into the English, I still have goosebumps in my body. Like I really feel every hair in my body stands up, because the connection with God, the spiritual connection, does wonders in the human being's soul and heart. And this is where I want you to think, how do you connect the client with the real raja, not just the hope, the amal, through the way you question. So in order to do that, we have this research. The researcher talks about a state, a different state, a transformational state between the teacher and the student, between the coach and the coachee. They actually don't talk about coaching at all in this book. They talk about education and the state of Islamic education in schools and universities, and of course in the society. But this is so much coaching, right? Your client comes with a challenge or dilemma, and you kind of understand they're stuck in many ways, and they're losing hope. They're not in a state of raja. And you want to help them, but you can't just tell them what to do. So you question the situation and help them deconstruct the image, the perception, the way they're looking at their problem through the questioning process. And imagine this happening in the classroom with children as well, or in the family between parents and children. And then you move with them as they start to get the spark of hope, the amal, into reconstructioning and reframing of the problem through your empathy and through restating the obvious and maybe asking another question: how is this contributing to your learning so far? How are we doing with the issue in hand or the challenge you came with? How is that helping you right now? How do you feel about the context? what's happening inside you, all these coaching questions like midway or at the end of the session. And what did you learn about yourself? And all of a sudden, when you ask, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the challenge? What did you learn about the problem? And how is your perception right now? All of a sudden, you move into the shift in consciousness, the awareness that there is a way. So the hope turns into raja, into a constant state. And if you can ask a question to keep that hope going for as long as possible, then you have made the transformation in their lives.
Yes, I wanna share something. Yes, Dr. Ghada, you give me like a wow moment when you said coaching through hope. I remember a movie, an English movie. Someone, I don't know, it was a war or something. He said this. He said, that what is more powerful than fear? Yes, it's hope. So to make your client connected to hope, this is the most powerful thing. يعني will give the most author. I'm not going to say impact. I would say
Yeah,
author.
tell them why author is more important than impact.
Yes. I was talking to Dr. Gheda. One time I was searching for a slogan that I want to create. So I thought of impact. So when I searched the web about the word impact, I found it not as deep as author, you know. Like the impact is not temporary and just for short time, or maybe something happened now. So this is the impact, not like author that it lasts forever and change people forever. This is it.
Thank you for sharing how the
Thank you
Arabic
so much, Dr.
has deeper implications and meanings.
Yeah.
So the concept of ummah, the collective we, and we all know about the collective and how important is the collective, from systemic team coaching, from helping an individual be part of a bigger important goal that has other impact. The word ummah in Arabic has implications. It has changed over the centuries. First, it was used in the Quran to indicate one person, Ibrahim. And we all know Ibrahim, the prophet. Allah says in the Quran, he was an ummah. Like he himself was, something big. He could be sufficient for everyone and everything. But then the ummah grew into the Muslim ummah during the Prophet time. And then all of a sudden we hear in the Quran that we have created you ummatan wasatan, leveled, not to the right, not to the left, not to the extreme, not to the... So what is leveled wasat? Wasat, of course, in Arabic, also a word that implies leveled, implies middle, implies balance, implies so many English words. And this is the beauty of the Arabic word. And this is why we need the world to understand that Arabic cannot be a literal translation, because Arabic has implications in the context it's used, in the form it is used, the form of the Arabic word, and the grammatical implications. So wasat is leveled in this context. So we created you ummah, a collective that is wasat, that is leveled. And I'm gonna talk about leveled because it's very important to understand that wasat is, what is wasat? What is leveled? Something that doesn't tip. And I talk about the path of the water path, and that the water path, the water always takes the easiest path between 2 points. Always, in a split of a second, the water flows, choosing, if you pour water and there is a munhadar, yani a hill, the water will direct itself very quickly. And if you stop and go on a very slow motion, you will see the water changing its route It's not going straight down. It changes its route between two focal points all the time. And this is called balance, or نقطة الارتكاز, the focal point. So the balance is not something constant, something continuous, something you need to find in every second of your life. In every moment you take a breath, you balance yourself, you level yourself. If they say level-headed, someone is level-headed, that they speak out of wisdom. So how do you become level-headed, and how do you find your focal point, like the water finds its focal point all the time, so it flows easily and quickly to reach its destination? And this is the path of water. But that's not all. لتعارفوا وخلقناكم, we created you, nations and tribes, so that you can connect. What? Is this the purpose of our being, to connect? Yes, it is the purpose of our being, to connect. وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة. We created you a mercy for man, for the alamin, for the worlds, not for mankind. The worlds. What worlds? We have just one word, world. No, there's worlds. There is the unseen world, there is the water world, there is the animal world, there is the insects world, there is the jinn world, there is the angel world, there is everything you can imagine, and it's called worlds. And the message of Islam is mercy for all the worlds, with an S, plural. So yes, we are created to connect and to get to know each other. So in connection, we communicate and we get to know each other, and we become an ummah. But then you say, but in my collective entity right now, in my community, there is also non-Muslims. There is people who are Muslims, but they're not, connected spiritually. And there are people of all colors. So how do you make all of this an ummah? So this is where we balance, where we level al-wasat, because the wasat is always changing, because we as an ummah need to change all the time to encompass, contain all the elements of the society. We don't exclude, we don't differentiate, we don't discriminate based on color, gender, religion, anything. We only appreciate those who have piety and fear of Allah. We cannot judge people and assume people that they're part of the ummah or not. It's not our duty. It's our behaviors and what we do. It's our conduct that witnesses, that people witness, and then it becomes an evidence for knowing Islam or not knowing Islam, knowing Allah for not knowing Him, without even speaking. We don't have to speak. We just have to give. We just have to have mercy, and we just have to connect. We don't have to say you're wrong, you're right, do this, do that. No, we don't have to do all of that. So the concept of the focal point, the level, will change with times and with people and places. How beautiful is that? The concept of Ummah changing from just the Muslims into the whole world. It's amazing, right? So now, instead of going into small rooms, I want to hear from each and every one of you so we can close this session without missing on any of the conversations in the breakout rooms.
Yeah, thank you. I just think about the word Ummah, and it's come from actually from our region, our culture, and when we want to compliment anybody, and you said you represent many things, or many men, or many you represent tribe. This word small, it's Ummah, three letter, but it's about nation. It's about lots of practice, many people, many culture, many background. So I like the with the what we can see behind the scene of the world. Yeah. So you give me another insight. You give me to think
Yes.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. How can I be part of the collective, the ummah? And how
Yeah.
can I help the ummah come together to talk, to get to know each other? Because the more we know each other, the less conflict we have. Thank you, Afaf, for this sharing. Mr. Saleh?
Yes, I agree with Afaf. It reflects the importance of the contribution of a person within a nation, uh, even in the formal way, like the whether a presidency or kingdom, when they talk or they issue a circular, they say we,
We.
which means we represent the whole nation.
You know, Dr. Ghada, يعني والله I keep learning from you يعني the most simple things in life that gives the most impact. You said like the water, that it chooses the more logical, easier way to go, to change, to adapt, to complete the road. So this is uh, this was really insightful for me. Like
Thank you.
why we don't do this? I mean, this is in nature. We should learn
Yeah.
from nature, you know. So why don't we do this? So I guess we should start. This was an eye opener for me. So thank you so much, Dr. Ghaib.
Well, I think we have brought in some words and meaning that are useful for your coaching practice and for those who are going to hear this webinar. Before you go, I just would like to say that we do coaching supervision. We also we provide this systemic and team coaching, and hopefully that you will connect with us to understand more about the offers we have in English and in Arabic from all over the world. Thank you so much for attending this webinar today, and hopefully that you will walk away with something that has a long effort or impact. Now, I can't say impact anymore because it's very limited in time, right? It might be actually impactful long term. They say long term impact, short term impact. So it has to have another word to explain it or to give it that deep meaning. And hopefully we'll see you again in another webinar. Thank you very much and look forward to working with some of you very soon.